Hello and welcome to episode 48 of Pacific Horseplayers right here on the HHH Racing Podcast. I am your host, Noah Meagher, joined by big bro Ryan Anderson, who actually had the courtesy of texting me a couple minutes ago saying that he might actually be late. Turns out he's on time, but the other gentleman, Jackson Muniz, gave me no heads up, and he is yet to join us, and it is 9:32 out here on the West Coast, on the East Coast. We're going to continue with Adam. Of course, we are very excited. Keeneland opening day is Friday, October 3rd, and we're going to be covering the late pick 5 on and it looks like I'm joining myself for this show. Like I said, we're covering the Keeneland late pick 5. Before we do that, of course, we've got some administrative stuff to go through. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. We've got our regular Power Picks tip sheet, which is not the same thing as our Keeneland Power Picks tip sheet. And I'm going to throw up a little QR code that you guys can scan here in a minute. But besides our Keeneland Power Picks, we have our regular Power Picks, which are Saturdays, 2 cards, ABC grids, stop plays, all that good stuff. And you can go purchase those and check out more about us and the podcast at our website, HHHRacingPodcast.com. As we've got the freshly shaven baby joining us. As I said before, I was going to throw up a –
Don't throw up.
I might not be able to do that right now. Give me a minute. I can do that. I can plug that in the middle of the show. I can throw up the QR code so you guys can go check that out. But this is going to be free. We've got Weekend Warriors again coming up on Saturday, October 4th. Ryan did a fantastic job of hosting that show last Saturday. I was tuning in from Churchill. Hopefully you guys could hear us pretty decently as Ryan completely changes the brand on us as things are going out of control. There we go. Now it's back to what we wanted. But again, 10-4, 3:30 Eastern. We got Belmont. We've got Keeneland, of course. Santa Anita's got a great card that Great Race Plays will be covering, and much more. So go ahead and check that out at 3:30 Eastern on Saturday. And where did my banners go? There we go. I think that's everything we got to cover. Ryan, you were on time, so I'm not going to make you go first. Jackson, how we doing?
I'm doing good. I had to hustle up here and I gotta go. Finally, I was able to run over and I left my computer downstairs, left my charger downstairs. It's fine. We made it. It's Keeneland Week. I'm fired up. 2 days till I fly away. All the way to Lexington. Let's go.
We're not too worried about work with T-minus 48 hours until you guys end up playing.
Yeah, I'm so checked out already. I'm trying to handicap while I'm working, and they're like watching.
Big bro, what's
Save it for the plane.
What's the excitement level, big bro?
Oh man, we're at a 10 out of 10. And Jackson was late for valid reasons. I was late because I was in that room just eating dinner. That was pretty much it. But that can be important too. But either way, we're at a 10 out of 10. I feel like a kid on like Christmas Eve. 2 more sleeps, and then we're heading to Lexington.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm stressed. I got a whole checklist I got to do tomorrow morning. I got to do like 6 different things, and then I got to go to work, and then I got to fly out at like 6 a.m. the next morning. So it's got to be worth it. It's got to be worth it.
Save all your handicapping for the flight. Save all the handicapping for the flight.
There's no internet.
Bring your laptop, download the PPs. You're good.
I got to have formulator. I got to watch videos. I got to have stats. I got to have all that good stuff. I'll probably read a book or something.
Just do it old school, but all right.
We got a good chunk of people joining us already, hoping to hear our thoughts. Felipe's actually got an opinion outside of the sequence that we're covering. He says race 3 on Friday. Long shot play of the day is the number 8 Meagher. Don't quote me on that because I'm not very good at that. But trainer Will Walden, I know we're big fans of him.
WW.
When we bet him, he tends not to lose.
Bob the race my horse.
Bob says, hello, Katie. The boss is here. He's going to be in Lexington, of course. He says it's time for Keeneland. Can't wait for racing in the bluegrass country. Jim Pilaris, hello all. Looking forward to great information. Hopefully we can go ahead and provide that for you, Jim. Mark Flanagan's here. Beautiful track with great racing. And it's going to be even more beautiful because they got that new building set up. I don't believe the dining will be ready, but they'll still have the stalls. Then they'll have the new winter circle where they won't do the stakes on the turf anymore. They'll do it in a special section, which I kind of like the turf. I mean, just walking out there.
Yeah.
I know Kyle and I were out there. I can't remember if it was the spring of last year or fall of last year, but just kind of cool to, walk across the turf.
Always good to touch grass,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Always good.
I think we've got people showing up as we go along, but I think we can go ahead and get into the late pick 5 sequences, I've already got everything loaded up, which caused me to have me and Ryan so small at the very beginning. But anyways, starts off with a race 6, 3:40 local time, allowance race on the turf, going 1 mile, purse of $120,000. And we do have morning lines and numbers in the programs. So shout out Nick Tamara for that. I believe he's the one that's still morning lines over at Keeneland. He's got the 6 in the stars for Saez and Rusty Arnold as the morning line favorite at 5-2. Second choice is the 2 Here the Queen for Irad Ortiz and Brad Cox. She's at 7-2. And let's see who we're going with to get things started. I'm going 10-6-2. Jackson's going 10-6-11, and Ryan's going 9-10-2. I thought I was going to be sneaky with a 10, quite honestly. Jackson's got this filly on top, and Ryan, you've got this filly in second. But Ryan, I'm going to have you get things started with the number 9 Golden Gamble. Jose Ortiz, Kenny McPeak. She's sitting at a decent price of 6-1.
Yeah, real quick, I don't envy Nick Tamro's job whatsoever, making morning lines for Keeneland. I think he does them for Kentucky Downs as well. That has to be 2 of the hardest morning lines to make in the entire sport, and he does an excellent job. I landed on 9 Golden Gamble. 1, you get Jose Ortiz to replace Brian Hernandez. Obviously, hope he gets well soon. But watching that last race, this looked like one of those horses that just kind of was okay with the Kentucky Downs, grass. I don't know that I expect her to take a step up. She's come out of that race to work out very well once again, and she's been a very nice workhorse in the morning. So I want to give this one another chance. Second off the bench, second start of this one's form cycle. Might just be rounding into shape. Got a good stamina test last time out, and I think can really take a step forward in a race that's pretty wide open, all things considered.
Jackson, I feel like I kind of did you dirty because somebody mentioned in the chat something that I probably should have mentioned at the beginning of the show. You, my friend, are in the Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge. Any thoughts, words, comments?
Nah, still riding that high. It was pretty damn cool. Obviously, it's been a goal of mine for at least a couple of years now. It's kind of how I got involved in the money to begin with. It was my start right there. So pretty cool to check that off the bucket list. And hopefully we're not done yet.
Well deserved. You won that the right way, man.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
That was great. I mean, the Amos filly won for fun, and then Mystic Dan didn't have things his own way and still got the job done. That was pretty fascinating stuff, and played it right in the last race, jumped the guy in first, and ended up not mattering. So that was good. As long as we've got one guy on the screen that's going to represent us and win the damn thing. So at least we got somebody in the game for sure. We'll move it to her outside. Jackson, you've got this horse on top as well. This is Eunomia. My first instinct is to say pneumonia, but that's definitely not right. It's definitely Eunomia, and I think she's interesting. Obviously, you do as well.
Yeah, fun fact about this horse. This is the only horse I have ever cashed a ticket on while being on track at Keeneland. And all the 7 days I've been there, it's the only horse I've ever cashed on. So I had to pick her again in this spot. Look, I think this race is probably going to have a pretty quick pace. It just has the large field. There are a lot of horses that want to be forward, especially the 11. And I think Eunomia is going to get that good trip, mid-pack type. I think she's going to get the jump on the deepest of the closers, and she won't be too far from it either. And, her form is okay recently. I think last time she was too far back on, I think that was Haskell Day, and it was tough to close on Haskell Day. With the race 2 back at Churchill, she was just wide every single step of the way. I think you'd be a little forgiving with that one. And then the race at Keeneland, I think we were there that weekend, and she was one that got completely impeded.
She got wiped out, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Someone just darted out to the right, and she took the horse by far. And I thought she actually did well to re-rally after that happened. I thought she was closing well enough after that, and I think she deserves another shot here. I do think she's going to get the trip. She's definitely going to be the right kind of price in this race, and this is a wide-open race. I just don't want to settle for anyone too short. Just hoping she gets the right trip in the spot. And
I feel like her best way of victory is probably just to not necessarily do what she did last time, because Giroux took her way back. But I think Dottori, if she's able to be about mid-pack, I think to come with one run is probably the way that she wins this race. I know the 2 races that kind of look on paper like she, backed up or couldn't quite get the distance were 8.5 and 9 furlongs. So she gets a mile today. The Keeneland race, you can completely put a line through that. She got totally wiped out when that incident happened. Jackson spot on with that. And last time she was closing well. I know the horse in that race, I believe, went wire to wire. Nobody really did a ton of running from the back, and Giroux just kind of took her way back there and then made a big run. Ran well, I thought, to only lose by length and a half. Now she's got some time off. I know there have been some choice words, definitely from me, probably from everybody on the screen, but I think if you're going to get a jock that's going to time some of these moves on this turf course at Keeneland, right, I feel like Dettori's one that's going to be at the top of the list. I know Pratt is very good. Dettori's got some phenomenal rides on those turf courses, especially some of them where he's, kind of put him to sleep. But he's just a guy that he knows his turf course very, very well. And I think having him aboard on this 8-1 shot is going to be a asset rather than a liability. Ryan, you got anything with this runner?
No, I mean, I echo everything you guys said. And the only point on Frankie is we're pretty critical of some jockeys that deserve it, but Frankie's fine. There's probably 10 or so jockeys that I would feel less confident about than Frankie at Keeneland. So maybe probably more than that, to be completely honest. Frankie's done nothing wrong. He's riding fine. He can certainly, give a horse a great ride every now and then.
Yeah, Jackson, I'll throw it back to you because we've actually got the same top two. This is the morning line favorite, Saez Rustiano, like I mentioned. This is one where I know you're very dubious of the angle, but I have a feeling that you're going to say otherwise. Big Fig at Kentucky Downs, 7th length win. However, that seems like that was a pretty live race and some pretty decent runners in behind her.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything you said. It's highly skeptical of all the form coming from that track, but this race specifically has been good. I mean, the horses that finished second, third both came back to win. They both improved their number, and she beat them very, very handily in that spot. I mean, went by 7 in a grass race. I don't care where it's at. That's an impressive performance. So it's just a matter of can she replicate that. I think she's going to get a good trip in here. She's the one to beat. I don't know. I don't want too short of a price in this race. It seems pretty wide open.
Yeah, and Jackson, I know I'm very well going to be playing the Turf Pick 3 on Friday. Those are like what?
Are you a fan of the Pick 3? The Turf Pick 3?
Yeah. If you didn't know. But with that being said, I think these are the only two that I'm actually going to use. I'll use the 6 and the 10 if somebody else wins. I mean, you got to pick your spots in some of these races, and I kind of think this might be one. And not even just second and third that came back and improved. Everybody that's come back in that race has improved. You see 57 to 63, 47 to 69, 18, 27, then 9 to 58. I mean, you got some big improvement even at the bottom and the tail end of that field there that ran on August 30th. So I like her quite a bit. I mean, if the price wasn't so low, I'd have her on top. I just think the 10's a little more appealing from a value standpoint. But I kind of stand by the opinion that I'll use one of those two, and if Ryan's 9 beats me, then I'll be happy for him.
I'll take it. I don't want to say I dislike the 6 because the race that she's coming out of was very live. I don't know, something about the way that race was run was a little bit like, it completely kind of melted down. They went very fast early, and it was just kind of who came home the quickest. And I'm a big I look at the incremental pace, a lot on DRF, and she only came home in 24 and change, and there's some others in here that come home in 23 and 22, and I just wanted some others at a little bit of a better price, but I get the point on the 6, and she's well bred too. Stellar Winds produced a few good runners.
Just real quick, I just want to ask you guys, because I feel like historically, it's all anecdotal. I don't have any stats to back this up, but I do feel like Kentucky Downs form typically does transfer decently to Keeneland, more so than other tracks. I think other tracks it does not transfer at all. I think to Keeneland, historically been okay. Like it hasn't been too big of a problem.
In the state of Kentucky, I know it's done pretty well. Churchill had a lot of success, I think, on turf, or a fair amount, I guess, of runners going onto the turf. Onto the dirt, I know they didn't have much, but yeah, to Keeneland, I think it transfers the best, at least from recent memory. So I don't disagree with that.
No, I would lean towards that as well. Like I said, I don't have any real stats to back that up, but it seems like you get some runners from there that run well over the fall for sure. This is, I thought, kind of the wild card of the race because you haven't seen her since April, Ryan. She's got some decent figs. She's got a big fig on the synthetic, and I think this is one where if the combo of Irad and Brad are taking some serious money, since it's the first leg you can see the board, I think I'd be inclined to probably include her on some tickets.
Yeah, no doubt. This is, again, we can talk about jockey karaoke a lot and, what it means, what it doesn't. I do think it says a little bit that Irad hopped off a horse that won so convincingly and had, so many nice runners come out of that race that, he opts to go with this where he wasn't the regular rider for Brad Cox. And all 3 of the previous riders of this filly are all in this race. and at Keeneland. So I just thought it a little bit interesting that Irad was going to take this mount over all those. So that kind of hints to me that maybe this filly's doing well. I do hope she takes some money because she is going to have to be live in this spot. Another win candidate for sure. I just don't want her to get overbet and get that IRAD money.
She got a bad ride last time.
She did what?
She got a bad ride last time in that race.
Oh, gotcha.
I remember that race. We were there to watch Ramsey Pond win.
You were there.
You were there too. Were you
not?
Nah,
I watched it at home. Because Ramsey Pond beat me, and I was all.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, Ramsey Pond beat me too. I don't bet Safi in Kentucky.
Exclusive star 10-1. You've got this filly in third, Jackson. Are you of the opinion that you'll be only 6'10", or do you think she's a legit win candidate?
I probably will end up using her unless she's like super chilly on the board. I thought she ran well in that race. That was a really fast pace, and she had the lead until about the 8th pull, maybe in the 16th pull, and then she just absolutely hit a wall because she paid the price for how fast they went, but she was in front a long, long time in that race. I think it's better than looks on the page. The question mark is she ready to go off the bench, obviously, because she hasn't run since then. And there is other speed to contend with. So if she's able to somehow clear and establish the lead, I think she's got a shot in here. But we'll see. I'll probably try to sneak her on a couple tickets because I think she's got a shot.
And I've got the 12 in third, who I think I would like if she drifts up, especially with the outside post. I know the outside post is kind of a death sentence to begin with in these turf routes at Keeneland. So if they do heat things up, I think she's got a shot. But she would have to drift out to maybe 6-8-1 for me to put some money in her direction, especially with Pratt and Meagher. I mean, that's a pretty prominent combo here at Keeneland and State of Kentucky. So we'll move on to the next. I'm going 10-6-12. Jackson's going 10-6-11, and Ryan's going 9-10-2. Next race we're going to be talking about is a stakes race. It's grade 2. It's the Phoenix, and it is on the screen now. $400,000 purse. We've got older boys going 6 furlongs on the main track, and we've got a field of 6. Morning line favorite is the 4 world record for Flavian Pratt, and Brissett at 8-5. Just to his outside is the second choice, Nakatomi for Irad and Wesley Ward, and then the third choice, the very, very speedy Skelly for Sayas and Steve Asmussen. Let's see who we're going with in this year's Phoenix. I'm going 4-6-5. Jackson's going 5-6-4, and Ryan's going 5-4-1. You guys are both going with Nakatomi, but Jackson, I'll let you talk first. Nakatomi 5-2 on the line. I guess he's getting ready for a third straight Breeders' Cup Sprint, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, and he was actually my bet of the weekend last year in the Breeders' Cup, and he was terrible. So we're giving him a chance to redeem himself in this spot. This isn't the race I have a huge opinion on, but I do think the pace is going to be fast. It's got to be fast with Skelly in the race. What you talked about probably has one way to go too, and even world record. All his good races have all been when he's on the lead, and he's probably not getting the lead in here too. I imagine Pratt won't happen too far back in this spot, so I think Nakatomi could get the setup in here. He obviously loves Keeneland. He's run very, very well here in the past. Maybe he's finally rounding back into form. The last race was decent. Obviously, he lost to Buckham Dano, who's the best sprinter in the country, and then Mulligan was in second too. So it wasn't his best race, but it does seem like he's trending the right way. I think he could get a setup in here, and he's going to be at least a second choice, maybe even the third.
Ryan?
Yeah, this is my play of the day. I love Nakatomi in this spot. Jackson mentioned the point on world record where all of his best races have come on the lead. Skelly is in here. Skelly truly only has one way to go, and he can't seem to get out of the gate unless he's at Oaklawn Park, and he just rushes up into the lead, then he fades out. He's not even somebody I really concern myself with at this point as a win contender unless we're at Oaklawn. And then I think what you're talking about is only in the race to get more pace into it for Nakatomi. So Amici El Jaramillo, as we know, down at Gulfstream, he's a big speed rider. He loves to go to the lead. So I think they're really just going to send out of there. So I expect 2, 3, and 4 to all line up. And then Nakatomi, who loves Keeneland. We talked about this race on this show at this time last year because I think we previewed the same sequence because I remember talking about Nakatomi in that spot as well. And again, this race is going to set up perfectly for him. I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely going to hope he gets in on the win end. And I won't be betting him in the Breeders' Cup Sprint, but I will be betting him in this spot without a doubt. He's going to be a single on pretty much all my tickets.
Am I crazy to kind of think that his 5th and 3rd this year so far have been kind of non-threatening? I know Buckham Dano and Mulligan are probably superior horses, but is that fair to say? Is that fair to say, or is that just like kind of by nature with his natural style?
I think that's a fair observation, but he's still run his race. He's just not the caliber of horse that Mulliken and Bookham Dano are. They are just better animals in every way. Like, he still has run better speed figures than he's run, in his previous 2 starts or 3 starts before then, depending on what the, Maidan race came back. But like he runs his race. It's not going to set up for him at 6 furlongs with a horse like Bookham Dano and Mulliken that can take that speed the entire way.
Yeah, and I guess if he is third choice, I could maybe find myself getting on board, just because he's actually running this race twice. You can see he ran it in 2023, was the favorite, lost, got a pretty good setup that day. But then last year in the Phoenix, that was very, very speed favoring. Federal Judge was on the rail, just got the lead, set some pretty. The fractions just based on numbers are pretty quick, but you can see blue coated and just with the bias kind of at that time on the dirt as well. I mean, he basically had no chance in there. So maybe you guys are hoping that third time is the charm. I could definitely see it. I mean, he loves it here at Keeneland. 3 wins in 2 seconds out of 6 starts, and could be a very bettable price. World record. I get the point that his best races have come on the lead, but I just have a feeling that this is probably his race to lose. Skelly is going. I mean, it's no secret that Skelly is going, but with the other Wesley and the 2, what you're talking about, I mean, I have a feeling that those 2 might hook up. I'm not sure if the 2 is maybe as quick, but I feel like they're going to do as best as they can to set it up for Nakatomi, right? I mean, I feel like that's got to be the case, and I just see world record sitting a pretty good trip just off of both of those 2. Maybe he doesn't have to have his best stuff to win. Maybe he does to hold off Nakatomi, and maybe I'm wrong. I know you guys all have him in the mix, not necessarily on top, but I think there are several versions of this race where he gets a very, very good trip there.
Yeah, but he's kind of gotten a good trip and came up empty in a few scenarios. Like, I mean, the Bing Crosby, I can't fault him. He lost to one of the best sprinters this world has ever seen. But, he's gotten some Steel Valley Sprint. He really didn't have an excuse in that race. He got everything his own, not his own way, but he got the setup that he needed, and he really didn't fire. And I think Jackson, hit the nail on the head where he's at his best when he's up on the front end. And I just don't think he's the fastest horse in this race. And then I don't think any horse is as fast early as Skelly. If Skelly were to finally have a clean break at a race outside of Oaklawn, then I think he could be dangerous. I just don't trust him to do that. So, I think they're just the 3 are going to line up. And I understand being sick of Nakatomi to Howard's comment line there, but there's really nobody else that I'd trust in here. And at least Nakatomi's consistent.
Well, you got to make a choice in a field of 6 like this, right? Especially if you're playing a pick 5 or some kind of late sequence, maybe even, starting off a late pick 4. Jackson, I know you've got the 6 and second. I know I'm trying to get a little bit cute with the 6 and second, just because, like I said, I think you have to kind of make a choice. And if I were to make a vertical wager, it'd probably be a 4-6 exacta. Is that the same case with you? Maybe a 5-6?
Probably. I'm going to try to sneak him in there somewhere, because he's always been a solid sprinter. And this doesn't seem like it's the strongest Phoenix ever. And it seems like he's, finally rounding back into form after he really struggled earlier this year. But look, he's got the outside post. He's going to get a good trip in here. He just finished second to Ben Tornado, who's going to be the big favorite in the sprint now that, Dana was for some reason skipping for a race in 6 months. But, if Ben Tornado was in the race, he'd be 2-5, and he's not, and he just beat all these horses. So why not give him a shot at 10-1 to come in the board? Maybe even blow this thing up. I don't know. I don't think he's that impossible in here. I don't trust these favorites that much, and he's not that far off of them.
Yeah, I thought his win at Ellis was good, and I thought his race last time was really good as well. I mean, Ben Tornado just kind of got the jump. I know he was running late, but I think things could definitely set up. It'll be kind of second flight. And, I mean, if he blows things up, I really wouldn't be surprised all that much. And then another one that's kind of hoping things that set up is the one that you got third, Ryan. That's Durante, who kind of benefited from that in the Aristides world record. Went crazy with Skelly, and, maybe we see something similar on Friday.
Yeah, my thought here was just to get a little sneaky with like an exacta or reverse tri-key or something with Durante, just because the rail typically tends to be pretty decent at Keeneland, especially kind of early on in the meet. I mean, we just spoke about the Phoenix last year or the year before, where Federal Judge had it, everything his own way. He drew post 1 that day. We saw 2 years back, horses skipping my name, but I'll look it up real quick. Hoist the Gold, who drew post 1, and he outfinished Nakatomi from the rail. So just trying to take that same kind of approach, knowing a guy like Tyler Gaffalione is going to stick to the rail, and he's, not afraid to shoot through a hole like that. So I'm going to take Durante underneath just because I think it's interesting he shows up in this spot. He's run some good races, and, when he's gotten the setup, he's done what he's supposed to do. And I don't see a reason why he can't get the setup in this spot and, round out the exacta, maybe the trifecta. So I want to give him a look underneath at what should be the longest price in the field. I like Hoist the Gold, but Jackson, I feel like you and I have talked about that horse maybe 3 or 4 times now, whether it's on this show or on a different one. And I can't keep taking him because in those graded stakes, I can't seem to trust him.
Are you guys completely against Skelly? I don't think he's impossible.
Yes.
I don't know. I preferred others, but no one has him in the top 3, obviously.
The only way he wins is if he finally breaks clean outside of Oaklawn.
He could get loose in this spot. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just think
the races come at Churchill, which is very, very fair racetrack. Keeneland is not necessarily the fairest of tracks.
Well, and that's what I wanted to bring up because fellow contest player Matt McJunkin's got a question to chase. He says, given how Keeneland has gone recently, don't we think that one of the leaders will escape with a win over the closers? I think easy answer for me is just watch the races before. I know they got one turf race before the late Big 5 starts. It's been quite dry. I know we got a decent amount of rain at the early part of last week, but it's been pretty hot and humid over the course of the last 5, 6, 7 days. So I would just watch the track, man. I don't know. I don't know if I would, probably want to predict some kind of bias going into the day. That's just my advice. And Howard says the same thing. We'll see. We'll have to pay attention to those early races. And we'll move on. Race 7, I'm going 4.65. Jackson's going 5.64, and Ryan's going 5.41. We keep it with stakes action in the form of the Grade 2 Jessamine. We've got 2-year-old fillies going 1 16th on the turf. Important to mention the rails are down, I believe, to 0 feet. Otherwise, it would say on there. So 0 feet, $400,000 purse, field of 12 in the main body. And we've got 2 also eligibles, the 13 and 14. But I think we have to start the conversation with the morning line favorite, the number 12, Time to Dream, 2 for 2 lifetime for IRAD and Pletcher. She's at 2-1 on the morning line. And there are picks, and 2 of us are trying to beat her. 1 of us isn't, and that person is Ryan Anderson. He's going with the morning line favorite, Time to Dream. He's actually got an AE in second, so I probably shouldn't throw it to him, but I'm going to throw it to him anyways. Ryan, is it just as easy as going with the 12 and moving on?
Look, I texted in the group chat, I think it was yesterday, and I was like, you can beat this horse in this spot, without diving deeper into the field. And I dove deeper into the field, and there's nobody that she has won these 2 races so professionally. She looks like a grown girl out there versus like the rest of this field. And look, I'm not jumping at the chance to trust a 2-year-old filly drawn post 12, but she seems to be the goods. And I'm all for taking a horse where they continue to progress in their starts. And she's had 2 very nice ones. I mean, this win in the PG Johnson at Saratoga was one of those that just really catches your eye. And I don't know necessarily that she faced, the toughest field, but Scratch It was very decent and backed up the maiden win with this nice second place appearance. And she just made her look pedestrian in this race. I mean, she kicked away with so much ease. She seems to just skip over the grass, and I think she's going to handle Keeneland just fine. It's going to be firm on Friday, excuse me. And I don't anticipate there being a problem. I get that she drew post 12, and that can be tough with these 2-year-olds, but I'm sure we're going to talk about the pace scenario. There's plenty of it in this race. I expect Irad to just drop over to the rail, and honestly, if she's too wide the entire race, I don't even think that would be an issue. I think she's right now kind of in a league of her own. So in this race, I'm going to go ahead and take her. I'll take the short price, and I'll keep it moving.
Jackson, what do you think she is at post time? 4 to 5?
The post might scare people away. If she was in post 4, she'd be 4 to 5. Post 12 makes it tough.
The point is, I mean, does she really? I know she's beating these fields pretty handily, and you can only beat who you face. It's not like she really lays over the field based on numbers, right? I mean, there's a couple horses in here that have time forms that are just as good, if not better, than what she's shown. Yeah. And maybe that's just the nature of the field that she's run against. But I don't know. I think with the wide post, she's a little tough to trust, and I'm going to try to beat her.
I agree with everything you said. I mean, based on the numbers, and I know 2-year-old numbers can be very tricky, especially on the grass, but if you're just looking at purely at the numbers, she should not be a big favorite here, and she probably will be come post time. So,
and the one that you've got, who's 9-2, arguably going to be 4 or 5 times the price. I mean, she's got 2 numbers that pretty much fit. And speaking of, Rusty Arnold thought so much of this 2-year-old filly to throw her in an allowance race as a maiden, and it looked like she handled it with ease, and she's stretching out, hoping to do the same here on Friday.
Yeah, I like both her starts. Obviously, in the debut, she was going just 5.5, but she lost to Snow Face Princess, who came back and won the stake race later in the meet at Saratoga. So that was a good filly she lost to. Probably not even the game she really wants to do, going 5.5. And they brought her back at Kentucky Downs, as you alluded to, and she won that race pretty easily. She was pretty far off of it early and came with her run, got the outside, and won pretty handily in the end. And as you said, the numbers she got for those races, both by or in time form, are a point or two slower than the favorite, and she's got a way better post. Way better post. She's going to be a way better price. And she'll be more poorly placed, too. She doesn't have to come from way out of it as she did last time. She can be, a length or 2 off the pace probably with the stretch out to 2 turns. So I like this filly quite a bit. I think she's going to get a good trip in this spot.
Yeah, and I'm trying to beat Time to Dream with the 11 Imagination, the lady, 10-1. I'm hoping Frankie has a big day because Frankie's on the 10 in the 6th race. Frankie's on the 11 here in the 8th. I'll definitely be using more than 2 in here. I'll use the 11. I'll use the 12. I'll use the 2. There's some others that I'll probably be using from a turf pick 3 standpoint, but I just like the way that she won. I know she got it pretty easily, but it didn't seem like Pratt really pushed her all that hard to get to the lead. It seems like she just got some natural speed, just kind of sat off of the leaders there, or was just kind of headed with the leaders around the far turn, kind of put away the rival. There was a rival that came to her outside, kicked away from them once again. It seemed like she was, wrapped up and had something left. She's just a very, very big filly, and the breeding suggests that she's going to like long. I mean, the Not This Times, 175 Warfront mare. And it wasn't like the Warfront mare really did anything special. I mean, she didn't even race. And it's not like she's, not like she spit any crazy prodigy. But I mean, they paid $300,000 for her. So obviously they like some things. Bullet work at Turfway, best of 22. She was betting the debut. I think she was 6-1 morning line. That got cut in half. And it feels like, I think the theme of Kentucky Downs was if horses took money, they were very, very live. And this was certainly one of them. And I'm hoping she gets a pretty good trip, hopefully working out a decent ground saving trip from the outside. So she's the one I'd maybe kind of get cute with to try to beat the 12 in here. But I think there are some other directions that you can go, including a horse that is possible to draw in if we do get 2 scratches. And Ryan, that is your second choice, the 14 Dinah.
Yeah, look, I don't pick AEs very often, but Kevin Attard caught my eye. We got burned. We didn't get burned. Jackson maybe got burned a little bit the last time in the spring when Kevin Attard sent a maiden runner. We, talked about it briefly, and then that horse ends up winning, I think, for fun or pretty convincingly on the turf. And I'm not going to ignore Kevin Attard when he's shipping a horse down here from Woodbine. 2 very nice sprint efforts, still a maiden in this spot, but the breeding screams that 2 turns is going to be to her benefit. She was so wide last time, going about 7 wide into the stretch. You get Flavien Pratt once again, assuming that this horse draws in. I know she's also cross-entered at Backwood. So she's going to need a few things to go her way, but I do think that she can kind of sit a trip maybe a little bit closer to the pace than where Time to Dream's going to be. Again, I couldn't beat Time to Dream in the body of the field, so I had to go outside the main body of the field to do it. With the number 14 Dinah. I don't try and pick the AEs, but thanks for letting me talk about her, because if she gets in, I think she's a major threat.
Jackson, was it Kevin Attard? I know that the horse was 6-1 morning line and was a $40 winner, but I'm not exactly sure if it was it Kevin Attard? I can't remember. I know it was a Woodbine guy.
I don't remember if he had the horse that won or if he had the horse that jumped onto, but he did have one of them.
It was Attard and Jose. It was a first-time starter that he, threw to Keeneland.
I can't imagine that horse is going to go here now after she got stuck on the AE. Isn't she going to go to New York?
Most likely. Go to New York. Most likely. I just wanted to speak about her because I think she's, worth mentioning.
What did she draw at New York? Does anybody know?
Better than 14. Looking at that card.
And she's in the body. I did not overflow there. So.
Jackson, you've got the 3 and 3rd, who I actually gave a long look to. I thought a race at Kentucky Downs last time was better than it looks on paper. just part of a suicidal pace and held on pretty well. Maybe the stretch out will be a little bit of a concern, but I don't necessarily think she needs the lead, and it seems like she's going to get a pretty good trip regardless.
Yeah, it seems like they have options with her, right? Because on debut, she was on the dirt in the slop, and she had no problem sitting off of horses and winning that race pretty easily in the end. And I thought she did it very professionally in that race. And then, as you said, she came back at Kentucky Downs, set the fast pace, and finished fourth. I don't love that she lost the pace battle. I think long shot that also got third, which I'm not a huge fan of, but she did okay. She's shown enough. She's run fast enough. The time form number, I think, is actually better than the 12. So yeah, I thought that was a little interesting too. And again, she has a way better coverage, so she should get a good trip in the spot.
Real quick, before I talk about the 5, I know that the Beyer and the time form figures, show that Time to Dream is on par, if not maybe a little below some of these, but she's done it so much easier than the other two. And I know that maybe doesn't mean a whole lot at the end of the day, but I mean, to beat a turf field by 5 lengths, I mean,
done it easier based on what?
Sorry?
Done it easier
based on how she moves.
Up?
Yeah.
Or she won by 5.
Wrapped up the way she moves, she just seems to she has that quick burst of acceleration I like to see in a turfer.
I don't know.
Again, I tried my best to beat her, but I couldn't trust any of the other horses coming out of those races at Kentucky Downs.
I don't think that made any sense, but
well, either way, Ryan's got 2 horses that are cross-entered. And it looks like one of them is actually another AE in New York.
Oh, man, Dinah's the 13th.
So we're not exactly sure where she's going to go, and we're also not exactly sure where the 5's going to go. So, Ryan, you might really be leaning on Dream on Friday.
That's fine by me. I'm happy to single Time to Dream and move on. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, whatever. But I like these Ripolis these Pletcher horses that continue to kind of get better start by start. Anyway, Rose Room, the number 5. I do wish, that maybe I had a jockey I could trust a little bit more. But in terms of horses, Florent's good with making the one move. It's when he's on the lead I get a little dicey. But Rose Room, I thought kind of had the worst trip and the best close last time out in that Juvenile Fillies race at Kentucky Downs. Again, was about 8 wide, but was flying down the lane and galloped out really well. So I want to give this one another look. This one is a half to Pixelate, who I believe was also trained by Michael Stidham. That was a very good runner on the grass. And the Pixelate was also a turf winner at 2. There's a couple other turf winners in the family. So bred to win early. And I think this Godolphin homebred is going to be a pretty nice one. If she does stay in, I'm going to play a big 12-5 exacta here, and that'll be my play in this race.
I like it. We'll move on to the opening day Friday feature, but I'm going 11-12-2. Jackson's going 2-12-3, and Ryan's going 12-14-5. Now, I know I said that race 9 in the race that I'm bringing up right now, the Grade 1 Darley Alcibiades is the feature on the card. This is not a very good field, I would say. I expect Tommy Joe to be 1-5, 1-9 in this race. She's at 2-5 on the morning line. We talked about it earlier. I wouldn't be surprised if there was no show wagering in here. So if there isn't show wagering, don't be surprised. She's at 2-5. Spendthrift Farm, homebred, filly for Velasquez and Pletcher. Second choice was the runner-up to her last time in the spin-away, Percy's Bar, Machado, Ben Colebrook at 3-1. And then the third choice is the 5, Hot Diva, Saez and Patrick Biancone. Let's see who we're going with. Are we going with Tommy Joe, or are we trying to beat her? 2 of us again are trying to beat the favorite. I'm going 1-3-2. Jackson's going 3-4 run, and Ryan's going 4-3-1. The Grumpy Rabbit himself, I think Ryan's been called that back in his day. Grumpy Rabbit, he's going with a 12-1 shot. Brad and Big Pete, I don't know. I'm trying to make a joke. It didn't land.
We laughed.
I'll be laughing if Ryan pulls it off with this horse for sure. If you see this horse running down Tommy Joe and Percy's Bar, I mean, Ryan's going to be buying drinks for the whole apron at Keeneland on Friday.
Yeah, no doubt. As you pull up the past performances so we can look, I mean, she certainly doesn't lay over the field or anything in this race, but I don't know. I probably am trying to get a little too cute with this, but I do like, one, that Flavien Pratt's aboard, and 2, this seems to be one of those McPeak runners that's getting really good. By Not This Time, who has produced runner after runner. As we don't need to talk about his accomplishments as a sire. But I trust a horse like this who's kind of coming along. Not that I want to say I don't trust Tommy Joe, but she's going to have to do something for the first time in this spot, and that's going to go 2 turns. And to be fair, her dam was a sprinter on dirt. I thought, maybe obviously the top side is going to lean itself to going long, but I don't know. It's going to be taking a really short price on a 2-year-old filly doing something for the first time, and I don't want to lean too heavily on something like that. So I'm probably going to go, ones and fours in here for me. I respect Tommy Joe, and she could easily blow the doors off this field. I mean, you mentioned it. It's not the strongest Alcibiades we've ever seen, but I thought the Grumpy Rabbit won and drew off really nicely last time. It was out of that weird kind of 1.5 turns at Ellis Park, but she did it the right way. I expect her to be up and close on the pace, maybe even stalking right off of Tommy Joe's hip. And, maybe just that added pressure kind of gets to her, her being Tommy Joe, and maybe the Grumpy Rabbit just kind of works out the best trip in here. But again, I could see a scenario where Tommy Joe wins this race by about 25 lengths. It wouldn't be that far out of the realm of possibilities.
Yeah, to say that she's the most likely winner of the race is nothing special. I mean, I wouldn't have to have many brain cells to do that. And Jackson, you've got her on top. I know our good buddy Alex is asking Jackson's picking the favorite, which is something you don't do, but you're not getting cute in here.
No, I don't know how you can well, I'll let you talk about Percy's Bar. I don't know how you're going to pick Percy's Bar over Tommy Joe based on what I saw last time. We talked about, sometimes 2 figures can be tricky to make. But if you want to say both those races are 10 points too fast, bring it down to a 75, and bump up everyone else in this race 10 points to the 70s, she's still 5 points faster than everyone. And I don't know, she's supposed to win, right? She's just way faster than these horses. It's a pretty disappointing field, I think. Tommy Joe should win for fun if she shows up.
She should win. She should win, right? But as we've talked time and time again, this is a value game, and I will not be bidding Tommy Joe at 1-9. And I will not be playing any doubles or anything. If I do play the race, it will be this horse right here, and that's the number 1, Percy's Bar, who I know my dad will most likely be betting. And if he is, and he's not doing it right, because he's loved this horse ever since she broke her maiden here at Keeneland at 4.5. I'll give you a couple reasons why I think Percy's Bar can make it interesting on Friday. Number 1, her victory at Keeneland was very, very good. I know it was 4.5, but obviously it seems like she likes it here at Keeneland. Number 2, this is her backyard. Last time in the spin-away was Tommy Joe's backyard. This time it's Percy's Bar's backyard. Number 3.
Last time it was whose backyard?
Tommy Joe.
Okay.
This is Grumpy Rabbit's side yard, so.
Number 3, Percy's Bar hasn't put together 2 races within a short amount of time yet. She broke her maiden, and then she was off for a couple months, and then she won at Churchill, and then she was off for a couple months, and then ran second. So she's going to be putting back-to-back races together. And number 4, I don't know if you guys watched the work on September 24th, but she went 58-1. It was in the pouring-ass rain, and I thought it was very, very good. So I expect better things on Friday from Percy's Bar. I'm not saying that she is more likely than Tommy Joe. I'm not saying that, she's just as good as Tommy Joe. I'm just saying if I'm playing the race, this is who I'm betting based off of the following points that I've given. So
would you take 3-1?
Would I take 3-1?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd take 3-1. I think 3-1 is probably as low as I'd go. I don't know if I would bet the race if she was lower than that. And I'd be pretty surprised if she was lower than that. And then I've got the 2 and 3rd. I needed somebody in 3rd. I went to go-to girl. The maiden race that she was in at Churchill in June was pretty decent. You see 2 next out winners ahead of her, and obviously she came back to win. And then I thought the race a little bit light on figs, but I thought was a pretty decent visual. Coming in, she's the other McPeak. It was kind of between the 2 or the 4. I ended up going with the 2. So I'll let you guys wrap up the Alcibiades if you can or if you want to. But we can go ahead and move on to the last race.
I think Howard just mushed us. He said, "Come on, guys, pick someone else, or pick Tommy Joe." He just mushed us for sure. No one else makes sense.
All right. I look, Tommy Joe again should blow the doors off this field, but you're going to take 1-9 on a horse. I don't know. I don't know. She
Yeah,
should win. She should win, but I'm going to use 1 and 4 and just hope that, Pratt are the best trainer on planet Earth. Get the job done for me.
Where are all the other fillies at? There are maiden races every single day in Kentucky for maiden 2-year-old fillies, and there's no one in here. Where'd they all go?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where they would. Yeah.
At the same time, if I bet the one and I lose, I hope that Tommy Joe wins very convincingly, because then she'll be a lesser price in the juvenile fillies, and then I won't want to bet her. That's my take. I just don't think she's very good.
If Tommy Joe passes the 2-turn test on Friday, she should be the favorite in the juvenile fillies, and she'll probably take my money that day.
I mean, she's good, but I don't think she's like crazy good. I mean, she's probably better than 2-year-olds last year. I mean, they were terrible, but
yeah, they weren't good. They were not good last year.
I'd rather bet somebody else. She's okay. I think she's fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Howard's got a question that I guess he wants us to address. Who you pick on the show and whom you are betting are two different things. I feel like they're always the same thing for me.
Yeah, the same thing for me. I'm not going to put a single dollar to win on Tommy Joe. I'm going to put a win bet on the 4 Grumpy Rabbit, who no one has called me in the history of me being alive. By the way, I've never been called that. We called many other things, but not the Grumpy Rabbit. I'm going to be betting the 4. I think the 4 is going to be the horse that I want, that has maybe a little bit of upside in here.
Jackson, you just putting all your chips on the 3?
Not to win, no. We'll get there. Best bets.
Well, that's called a tease in the entertainment business.
There you go.
We'll move on to the last race, but in the Alcibiades, I'm going 1-3-2. Jackson's going 3-4-1, and Ryan's going 4-3-1. Last race on the opening day card is race 10, maiden special weight, mile and 16th on the turf for 2-year-old fillies, purse of $110,000. You see the body of the field there. We've got 12 in the body. We've got 2 also eligibles, the 13 and a 14 yet again. Morning line favorite goes to the 10 Market Chill for Flavian Pratt and Chad Brown at 5-2. Second choice is the 4 Beach Ballad for Dettori and Meagher at 7-2. And then a bit of a gap to the rest. See who we're going with the closings out on opening day Friday. I'm going 4-10-5. Jackson's going 12-6-3, and Ryan's going 1-6-8. So we are all over the place. Hopefully, we're alive to some big turf pick 3s and some
to the all button.
I think we're going to have to use as many as possible in here. I think Ryan, I had you start last time, so we'll go with Jackson, who was pretty much raving about how the outside post is bad, but he's going with the 12 post anyway. He's going Scarlet Wave, 15-1 shot, Jaime Torres and Riley Mott. Jackson, the floor is yours.
12 post is not good. It's not ideal, obviously, but I also think this race just there's a lot of guessing in this race. And look, they paid a lot of money for this filly, and there's a lot of grass in her pedigree. Justifies obviously very good turf influence, as is the dam side. A lot of the siblings did well in the grass on the synthetic. I just think she's a little interesting in this spot. I watched a couple of her workouts. She's one of the only horses in here that you can watch the workouts for. And she was going better than the mate in both of those works pretty easily, I thought. So, look, she's going to be a big prize in here. She's got a lot to overcome, obviously. But I just wasn't in love with the horses that I've run before. And the other horses that have not run before, I don't have as much info on them. And she's going to be a better price than those. So I went with the 12. But this is a very, very difficult race.
The one thing you're absolutely right about is that I could not find info on Jack in this race.
No.
I couldn't find works on anyone, any of the inside runners. I thought I gave looks to the 1 and the 2, and I couldn't find anything. So maybe Ryan, you've got some more insight for us, and I couldn't find anything. Jackson couldn't find anything. But either way, I feel like 6-1 is not going to be a bad price on a Gaffleon or Walsh Firster, who we've seen time and time again win these turf races here at Keeneland.
Yeah, definitely. And to the point on the 12, I tried to give that one a look because I do think she's really well bred, and obviously the post hurts, but a good horse can overcome that. But Riley Mott, I was curious because he'll pop at a good price, but I was looking up his debut and he's 7 for 97 with first time starters. I think he's 0 for 10 with 2-year-old first routers. So I couldn't to throw formulator stat back at Jackson because he put me in a locker last week. But I'll go down to the rail in rating party with Brendan Walsh and Tyler Gaffleon. The Sire Sioux Nation, there's not much to go off of here. Other than I know Walsh and Gaffleon come ready for Keeneland. 6-1 is a very fair price, and she has a steady work tab. So, going off of those things, just reading those clues, I kind of like that. She's been working at Turfway, so that's, it's obviously on the synthetic, so maybe a little bit of a turf look there. She's obviously bred to love turf top and bottom, and Sioux Nation has produced some really nice turf runners both here and overseas. So I want to take Rating Party. I'm hoping the board's going to say a lot, right, in this race, and we're going to be able to tell, who's live and who's not as soon as the betting board opens up, and that's going to suck for us because we're going to be, in our final leg of the Turf Pick 3 and Pick 5s and whatever else we play, and we're just going to have to hope that we're right in here. But I think Rating Party should take some money, especially given those connections, and I hope that the horse is live comes Friday.
Surprised you didn't have the 2 in there also, Ryan. I know Adam Rice is your guy, and
at Saratoga. He's my guy at Saratoga.
Turf sprints too, right? He's got
Yes.
40% or whatever.
Yes.
By the way, have you guys seen the movie Emperor's New Groove? You guys seen that?
Oh, of course. It's a TV show.
No, it's a movie.
It has a cult following, bro.
It does.
It has a what?
A cult following. People are obsessed.
Following? With the movie? Or the
Obsessed.
show?
Yes.
Is there really a show too? I only thought there was a movie.
It may be a show. It's definitely a movie. It was a movie first, for sure.
Well, I mean,
Wrong.
they think.
Am I wrong? I might be wrong. It might be a movie.
It's definitely a movie. I mean,
it is a movie. Yeah,
1,000%.
a movie, but they
It's a
might
movie.
like the show as well. Don't quote me on that.
No, I must have just watched the movie so many times I thought it was a show.
Either way, Irad hops on, which I feel like in a race like this where I don't think anyone has a real great idea on who's going to win the finale. I think that's got to be a green flag for sure. I've got the 4 on top. Like I said, Jackson, I had no idea what to do with any of these firsters because I couldn't really find out much. But Beach Ballad's second to Deep Learning, 2 back, I thought was pretty good. Hot pace, stuck around. I know Deep Learning was quite disappointing at Woodbine, but I think she's pretty well meant. And then for whatever reason, Brian Hernandez decided to take her back to second to last time, and then she made a big wide move, couldn't get out in the clear. Actually ran okay to run third, but Frankie's on again. See, I'm going with Frankie. Frankie's my guy on Friday. Frankie has a big day. I'm going to have a big day. So Bryden Frankie, him and Meagher, good percentage at Keeneland, working well. Kentucky Downs, like I said, was kind of out of her element. She was really good when she was on the lead. Not a ton of speed in the race, at least from the horses that have run. Maybe we'll see some speed from some firsters. But if Tori gets her in a good position early, I think she's got a big shot. So I've got her on top. And then I've got the 10 in second just because her race last time was good. The horse that beat her is the 11 in the Time to Dream race, the Jessamine. So I feel like if I like the 11, I got to like her a little bit. So I got her in second. Then I've got the 5 in third, who was one of the few. The 5 and the 12 were the ones that I could actually see some morning works. And I think the 5's got a little bit of ability. It kind of seems like she doesn't really know what she's doing right now. But she can maybe pop first out. She's going to be a big price. Jose hops on. Cassie firster, paid $200,000 for her. She's bred okay. Bolt Doro on the top side. So I've got her third. But there are so many different directions that I could go in this race. I know you guys have the 6 in second, so I'll leave you guys to talk about that one and then anybody else. But either one of you want to kick things off with the 6?
Did you just point to me? I mean, I was surprised that honestly both of us ended up on this horse in such a wide open race. But Chelsea Danner has had such an incredible year. Just every time she's in the winner's circle, it feels like it's just an absurd price. So this one on debut showed some ability. Obviously, debuting at Kentucky Downs is not an easy task. Closed a little bit, but was in tight at the break. You get Leparoux in this spot, and honestly, Leparoux, love him or hate him, I like him a little bit on the grass. But Danner is much better second time out than they are first time. So has worked pretty well out of that race. Again, there's not a whole lot to go off of in here. I thought maybe the experience is going to be useful under the belt. They did go pretty quick last time out, going 22 and change, 46 and change. So I'm hoping maybe she sits, mid-pack, and we'll see what she has turning down for home. But I really don't have too much other than a start under the belt's going to help. Jackson?
Agree. I don't like the horses that I've run in this race. The 2 favorites in here, I think they're just whatever. Like, they're nothing special. But maybe this field isn't anything special either. I think with the 6, you're hoping she does take that step forward because she was only a length off of the 10. And at the prices they're going to be, I would much prefer the 6 in this spot because, as Brian mentioned, horses from this barn typically do improve.
I feel like if I like the 10, I got to like the 6 a little bit, right? Because they're coming out of the same race.
Yeah.
6 has probably got some upside. So I feel like if I'm playing the pick 3 or pick 5, I'll probably have the 6 on some tickets. I guess we got to mention the 8 because this is the first runner for Go Gray Stable LLC. Johnny V, Jonathan Thomas, first-time starter that Dave Portnoy and company paid $350,000 for at the Keeneland September 2024 sale. Running a right back where she was bought. Good work on September 28th, and one that I didn't see, Ryan, which is a common theme in this race. I have no idea if any of these horses, at least first-time starters, can run. But certainly well men, and I think just based off of ownership, probably going to take some money.
Yeah, probably going to take a little bit of money, I'd have to imagine, right? But the Dam was a 3-time winner on turf, given it was when she was a little bit older. But still, she, you like to see that a horse is at least bred for it. Cairo Prince can be very good first time out, very good with some turf routers. And I mean, Jonathan Thomas, Johnny V team up. Jonathan can certainly have a horse ready to go 2 turns on debut, especially as a 2-year-old. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to take a shot. I hope she doesn't take too much money. I thought the name was pretty fun because obviously his dog is Miss Peaches. So for anybody that cares, what'd you say? What?
I think she'll be 2-1.
2-1?
So? I think she's going to open up at 2-1, I should say. I should clarify.
Oh.
He's going to bet like 20 grand on her, isn't he? I mean, he's got to.
Well, sure, he'll open up at 2-1, but that's not. We don't have fixed odds wagering.
And go on at 4.
CAWs run Keeneland, so they, there's going to be some late odds corrections. I think you'll get 5-1 on her, which will be fine because I do think she's live.
I forgot to look up Saratoga. I didn't realize she was at Saratoga this summer, so I'm watching her Saratoga.
There you go. But yeah, obviously, yeah, we had to mention this one, so I kind of threw her in for that, and on top of that, there's really not too much to go off of, and Johnny V at Keeneland can certainly have a horse in the right spot ready to win.
Before we head to best bets, Jackson, is that better or worse than when Ryan was talking about a race last weekend where he goes, "Oh yeah, now that I remember watching that race."
No, that one was really bad. That
That was super professional, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who is that horse? Oh, Rehearsal. Hey, guess what? Rehearsal didn't run a damn step. So I was right. Yeah. I told you that horse is nothing.
Yeah, she's a pig for sure. We'll move on to the best bets. I'm going 4-10-5. Jackson's going 12-6-3, and Ryan's going 1-6-8. As I get those off the screen.
This work, she looked pretty good in this work. I don't know who she's going up against, but she looked good.
Now she's gonna be 8-5 when they open up.
Oh yeah, big influence.
Ryan's going best bet. He's going with a double in race 7, starting in race 7 with the 5 Nakatomi, going into the 12 Time to Dream. What are you hoping to get on that double, Ryan?
3-1 would be great. I'll probably get better than that, but 3-1 would be fantastic.
Is it Nakatomi going to be like 3-1?
Well, Nakatomi's going to be at best the second, or at worst the second choice.
2-1.
Nakatomi won't go. World record will be favored.
Yeah, I know world record will be favored, but I mean, are people really going to bet Skelly?
I said second choice.
I know. I'm saying you're going to bet Skelly. Like, are they going to be close?
If Speed's playing well, which it typically does, I think Skelly's going to take some money, probably 3-1, 7-2. I think the morning lines for that race are pretty accurate. So if I got 5-2, 2-1 on Nakatomi into Time to Dream at like 4-5, that puts me somewhere in the realm of like between 3 and at most 5-1, and that'll be my main bet for the day, and I'll be happy with that. That's my 2 strongest opinions of the day, so it'll be pretty simple. Just keep it easy.
I like it. Good luck with your best bet. Jackson's going with the double as well, but it starts in race 8. He's starting to double with the 2 Mackinac. I think it's Mackinac. Is it Mackinac or Mackinac?
Mackinac.
I like Mackinac.
Mackinac.
Mackinac is better.
Mackinac.
You can hear Kurt Becker going, and here comes Mackinac down the far outside. Jackson's going to be going nuts. Mackinac's 9-2. He's starting to double with that runner, and he's going into Tommy Joe. So it looks like this is where his chips are directed.
Yeah, just hoping to get a little bit of bonus on that win bet on the 2, because Tommy Joe is going to be 1-9, and maybe if we can get half a point more on whatever the 2 goes off at, that'll be a good bet, because I think the jockey needs to fall off for her not to win that race. So Mackinac, as we talked about in the just mean, this is with Ryan. I think Time to Dream has been very, very impressive, visually in her 2 races. I just don't know with the post and with how fast she's run if she's really the horse you want to bet at what's going to be a short price. So I think Mackinac has been equally as impressive on the clock, and is going to have a much better trip in this spot, and she's going to have a shot. So hopefully she wins, and hopefully Tommy Joe wins.
Mackinac.
It's definitely Mackinac. There's no way it's Mackinac.
Gotta be Mackinac.
Mackinac?
Nah.
The professor's got the history lesson. He says I guess it's geography. An island in Michigan, Upper Peninsula. Look it up. And a Native American tribe. That's
It's just and a. There's no and.
That's not good.
Quick, Noah, what's a peninsula?
Peninsula is a piece of land surrounded by a body of water. Right?
It's an island.
No.
Peninsula is 3 sides of water.
Three sides?
3 sides of water.
Whatever. That's enough.
Mackinac.
I'm saying better at the ponies and pronunciation, but not good at either.
It's okay. I had to give you a little bit of shit. It's been a pretty shit-free show.
My best bet is race 6 with a double beginning with the 10 is not pneumonia. It is eunomia in race 6, 8-1 on the line, and then with a double into world record, who I think is probably the most likely winner of that race. I know we don't we don't necessarily see eye to eye in that race, but I think he's got a big shot, and I can get an inflated win price similarly to Jackson, but it's going to be worth more. And then I'm going to shove it in his face on Friday with a bowl of chili and a Keeneland Breeze, and it's going to be a great day. So I think we can go ahead and wrap things up. Let me throw it up again because I've got the double that is 10-4. But speaking of 10-4, and no, it is not the sign for OK. Saturday 10, no, it's 6-7. Saturday 10-4. We've got Weekend Warriors
10-4
at 3:30 Eastern, Belmont at Aqueduct, Keeneland, of course, and Anita's got a great card and much more. I know Howard is going to be tuning in from the paddock on Saturday, and I know he's going to be there, and I think we're maybe going to pop in and do some stuff. We'll have to figure out the logistics on that when we get here or when you guys get here, because I'm already here. But as I throw up the final banner, any parting words, final thoughts, questions, comments, concerns from the boys traveling?
Can I get a ride from the airport on Thursday?
Yeah, me too, Doug. But I don't want to ride in the same car as this guy, so I need separate trips.
You guys are getting like 6.
I'm just kidding.
Is that a yes or should I Uber?
What?
Is that a yes?
Yes, it's a you guys get.
Of course, he's picking us up.
Pick you guys
I
up.
don't know. Maybe he's got a date or a plan.
There's no shot. No
I
shot.
do not have plans.
No
Give me
shot.
too much credit. Let's go.
I think
baby.
We can go ahead and wrap things up on this Tuesday evening. For Ryan, for Jackson, this has been Noah and episode 48 of Pacific Horseplayers, covering the Keeneland opening day late pick 5. We're going to be there. Hopefully you guys are betting. And, of course, we will see you next week. But before we do that, we've got to send it off, as we traditionally do. PHP out.